We've been really lucky in having been introduced to a number of clients, particularly in the US, by various members of the IR Global Network, particularly in relation to acquisition of UK companies. So we've assisted American buyers through our colleagues in the network to carry out their due diligence on UK companies. We've helped them to understand the legal and regulatory background to acquiring businesses in the UK, and then we've helped them to transact the deals. That's work which we thoroughly enjoy. It's time consuming, it's great fun, there's a real sense of achievement, and we're very grateful to the network and the member firms who've introduced that sort of work to us.
So we've enjoyed working with Uros Ilic from UDI in Slovakia, and we dealt with a case involving a $600 million company which was importing bananas into the country, and there are a number of issues around their condition. We've also recently referred a case to Robert Fishman. It's a good example of a case really where it was helpful to have advice from him, and the case essentially relates to a situation where we have a client who's owed a debt of some £2 million, but we know that this client who's based in the US only has assets of about £500,000, and so therefore one of the issues that we need to be very careful about is how we do as cost-effective a recovery as possible, and Robert's helping us on that.
We refer out a lot of business to other accounting firms where we have international public company audits. We retain some of the other IR Global members as staff to help us complete some of these large audits in other countries. And you know, we've also received a lot of referrals from members from Europe and from both coasts in the United States.
I have a very large defense contractor client that has a very strange situation in Pakistan where they need a customs lawyer. They've had a US government shipment held by customs for a solid year. So through IR Global, I was able to find a Pakistani attorney who has excellent experience and good relationships with customs in Pakistan, who is definitely going to assist this particular client.
It's really a dynamic group of people that is just fun to get together with, that's educational, and it's been a tremendous resource for me both professionally and personally.
Everything we do is real estate. Our clients have needs generally outside of just real estate, and for them to know that we're part of a network of other lawyers, other professionals who can offer the quality of service that we provide in their primary business area in other aspects of their business life or personal lives, where a lawyer is needed, is important to our clients and important to us to be able to let our clients know, although we only practice in one area, we can counsel and assist in many different areas and different jurisdictions.
I think it's very helpful to have a lawyer who is part of a global network because of the contacts and the depth that brings to the practice. It's just very, very important that clients have an awareness that you have that capability and that strength behind you. It's beneficial because an awful lot of business these days does involve cross-border transactions of one form or another. So we think it's helpful, and it's not easy to quantify, but it's real.
We have been happy to receive a few inbound referrals as well as to give out some referrals. I can give you a few examples of inbound referrals that we have received, for example, from France, where we had to set up a couple of vehicles for one old client and to transfer intellectual property to these two vehicles that we have established. We have received queries of interpretation and legal opinion on agency contract law in UAE. We have also received requests for a legal opinion for the Italian law, so we have been also being able to transfer referral from the Dubai office directly to the Italian office as well.
The company tripled its number of people and also its revenue. And a large part of our clientele are foreigners, and quite a few of them are referrals from IR Global. One thing I was not expecting, because I'm in a small country, Portugal, tail of Europe, so I was in the receiving end. I said, well, they are going to give referrals to me, what can I do for others? But actually, when my clients did understand that I was part of a wider network, that I could reach out to Japan or Singapore or Colombia or any part of the United States, I started to have referrals to give.
Having a relationship with UK firms such as Mo Barlow, and the contact I've been able to make with David Foster is very precious, because there's always an element of English law in the transactional banking matters that I'm dealing with, loan agreements, security packages. So it's important to be able to rely upon good advice under English law.
For my clients, they surely know that I have a reach that goes beyond 150 jurisdictions. You know, someone might get in trouble in Indonesia, and there was going to be someone, or Australia, or New Zealand, or any conceivable state in the United States.
I find now that I have work that comes into London via IR Global, and work that I send out to trusted friends and firms via IR Global. An example or two would be, in the last year or so, I've sent work to Portugal, I've sent work to our American friends. I've had work come in from the US, I've had work come in from the Netherlands, a few other jurisdictions, Paris. What I would say is interesting, though, is that I've actually sourced a fair bit of work from within England itself and within the UK. And that was an unexpected aspect of the work that I've generated.
I've recently been instructed by an IR Global member in Belgium. I've had a Mauritius instruction. I've had a few US instructions I tried to give out, but tax in US is always a difficult area, so that tends to be quite sort of a red line between those two jurisdictions. But otherwise, Portugal, yes, very much so, because I deal with a lot of high net worth individual, non-domiciled people who are trying to go back to wherever they think it's suitable for them to live. That then necessitates an introduction to a local lawyer, and I find IR Global is the ideal platform for me to find someone competent in that relevant jurisdiction. One of my favourite things about IR Global is knowing with confidence that I can send an email or pick up a phone to almost any jurisdiction in the world, and know that there'll be a trusted partner on the other side of that who will be looking to help our clients with whatever we need. Recently, a client came to us and they have a country of origin review. They're having a lot of issues with sourcing in China, and many of their parts are from China, and they don't want to have products of Chinese origin. So we're doing a global review of their products. And the countries are involved: Turkey, Chile, Brazil, several different countries that will have to assist them in terms of figuring out the country of origin of the goods. And IR Global is the primary resource for those subject matter experts.